Doomed to forever roll a huge boulder up a steep hill, Sisyphus is a figure in Greek mythology who represents an impossible task. As an eternal punishment in the Greek underworld, the boulder would miraculously roll down every time he neared the top of the hill, forcing him to start the task all over again. In other words, Sisyphus was punished for eternity for completing this impossible task. But what did Sisyphus do to deserve this punishment? Linguistics fans might be interested to know that the story of this mythological figure is the inspiration for the word Sisyphean, used to describe a task that can never be completed. According to Greek mythology, Sisyphus was the founder and the first king of Ephyra. He was the son of Aeolus, a king of Thessaly, and Enarete. Sisyphus is best known for being an extremely cunning person. In some later literary sources, Sisyphus is regarded to be the father of Odysseus, another figure in Greek mythology renowned for his cunning through his seduction of Anticlea. When Sisyphus broke the concept of xenia, hospitality and generosity that hosts are required to extend to visitors and travelers, it appears that the gods took notice. Sisyphus broke xenia by repeatedly ordering the deaths of his visitors to prove that he was a merciless ruler. Zeus, who was in charge of preserving xenia, was not amused by this. Nevertheless, Zeus waited until after another event to decide to punish Sisyphus. The king of the gods, Zeus, had abducted Aegina, the daughter of Asopus, a river god who was the son of Poseidon. Sisyphus promised to reveal to Asopus what had happened to his daughter on the condition that an eternal spring for his city was created. Thus, Zeus's action was revealed. Zeus, who was furious at Sisyphus for his actions, commanded Thanatos, the personification of death, to take him to the underworld. When Thanatos came for Sisyphus, he asked him how his chains worked. As Thanatos was showing the king how the chains worked, Sisyphus swiftly trapped him in his own chains instead. No one could die, since death was now a prisoner of Sisyphus. Ultimately, the god of warfare, Ares, had to step in and release Thanatos. In a different telling of the story, Hades, who was similarly duped by the king, was dispatched to retrieve Sisyphus. After being set free, Thanatos finished his task. But again, the crafty Sisyphus managed to cheat death. Aware that he would not be able to hold Thanatos captive for very long, he gave his wife Merope orders to follow once he had been taken to the underworld. Sisyphus instructed Merope not to perform the required funerary ceremonies and to leave his corpse unburied rather than burying him properly. After entering the underworld, Sisyphus approached Persephone and bemoaned to her the physical alteration his wife had caused him. In order to punish his wife, he requested to be returned to the world of the living. After his desire was fulfilled, Sisyphus went back to the world of the living. He lived to be a very old man. In a different account, Sisyphus scolded his wife for being careless. However, Hermes pulled him back to the underworld since he refused to go there. Once in the underworld, Zeus could have his vengeance on Sisyphus. To punish the king and to dissuade other men from thinking that they too could make fools out of the gods, Zeus inflicted a rather bizarre punishment. Sisyphus was made to roll a large boulder up a steep hill. Each time Sisyphus is close to completing his task. However, the rock magically rolls down on its own, and he has to start all over again, making it impossible for him to be freed from this punishment. The eternal nature of Sisyphus's futile task is certainly a terrible punishment, yet these days, some people have taken an interesting perspective on the meaning of the Sisyphus myth. Instead of simply seeing the endless punishment of rolling the rock up the hill as proof that the vengeful Zeus triumphed over the cruel king, Some people have interpreted this myth as a reminder for the need to persist when facing a valuable but seemingly unsurmountable task. While Sisyphus may have deserved his punishment, there are people who believe that when challenges are seen, not as a punishment, just as a fact of life, one should face the difficulty, work hard, and never give up. Unlike in Sisyphus' story, those people who put in the effort will have a result.